Yeah, Smart War Games here, welcome back. Let's play more Dangerous Waters. This time we will play a new campaign from the Russian perspective. Yeah, and the Russian rockstar is usually the Akula Improved or Akula-II, especially the Weapon. This time we roll out in the Akula-III Gepard. Let's read the disputes over Sakhalin Island have hotted up. In a blatant display of disrespect, the Japanese naval self-defense forces are staging an exercise several kilometers off Sakhalin Island. Observe them and report what you find. Exactly, we have Coruns, 4 Coruns. Should I give me the modern stuff? Is troop mode engaged? Zoom in, zoom in. No. Good, 15 knots is fine. Perhaps use that situation to get to periscope or shallow. First shallow.
Держаться на глубине 0,65.
Выполняем маневр.
Держать скорость 10 узлов.
See if there's any messages for us. Toro is not streamed. It is. Oh. Well, 10 knots is so fast.
Держать скорость 4 узла.
Yeah, children's school. That is. Didn't they nuke one in some girls' school in Iran because they used They use target data from, I don't know what, 50 years ago. Somebody royal screwed up. And as far as war goes, that will be the only thing that war will be remembered for. Nothing? Okay.
Держаться на глубине 2-6-0.
Выполняем маневр. Держать скорость 15 узлов.
But better ready those corons. You never know.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге 1, 2, 8. Присвоен Сиера 1.
Держать скорость 5 узлов.
No idea, usually don't try to sift through the fog of war reports as they happen. Not to know what is a reflection on a mirror. Nah, that is not a reflection, that is... They confirm from multiple sides that they nuked some kids' school. I mean, they themselves admitted it. Bumped over 100 people away there. So they're thinking it is some sort of facility of the Republican Guard, which was it, I don't know, 20 years ago. And not Republican Guard, what is it called in Iran? It's here 1. Bearing 128. What is it? Faint frequency. $50. Yeah, Japan is also wrong in 50, I think. Doesn't need to be anything.
Держать скорость 15 узлов.
ERGC. Iranian Republican... Is it called Republican Guard? I don't know. Those, whatever, 110,000 dudes.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге 0, 3, 5. Присвоен Сиера 2.
Держать скорость 5 узлов.
CO2 bearing 45. What is that? Another 50 hertz, okay. Yeah, could be anything. Good, let's not overdo it, make it 10 knots.
Держать скорость 10 узлов.
Ah, the Revolutionary Guard,
Акустик,
exactly,
сигнал
yeah.
на пеленге. 1, 2, 8. Присвоен
Revolutionary
Сиера.
Guard, yeah.
3.
Republican with Revolutionary. Something is, yeah. Revolutionary Guard, exactly. Yeah, it was a facility that was used decades ago by the Revolutionary Guard, but then repurposed, given away for a girls' school. They even redesigned the wall of that nearby Revolutionary Guard facility. But yeah, somebody still had it in his database and said, roll it. And they struck it at a time where that was, I don't know, full with, not at night or something, but at daylight. Full with girls and parents or whatever, teachers.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 0, 4, 5. Присвоен Сиера. Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 3, 3. Присвоен Сиера. 5.
I mean, so far, if nothing really serious happens, that war will become a meme war. Probably even strengthen the regime on the long term in Iran. And that dude, they hit the Khamenei, that guy, he knew that he got hit. He will be hit. I mean, it was what, 89? He said, let's do it Matura style. Sitting in his palace and waiting for that missile. I think I already talked about that. That is absolutely what I would have probably done in this position as well. Die sooner death, uneventful death of because of condition and age, or go down in a fireball. And go into history as some sort of hero. Martyr. Perfectly worked for him out and
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 1, 7. Присвоен Сиера. 6.
enabled to roll the transition perfectly. I don't know, man, who is sitting there, I don't know, if they have some secret plan or if they don't pull off anything, man, yeah, that will be probably the biggest retard operation in history, man. So, but yeah, nowadays you can't know. Is it retards or is it? Okay. It's a lot of contacts here. Good, let's check the sonars. They will destroy some Iranian stuff, okay, yeah. Probably the infrastructure will take the biggest hit. Will probably make the Israelis happy, but long term, man, the US even had to loosen the embargo on Russia in order to satisfy the needs, energy needs of their whatever overlords. That is a massive L take. My opinion might become the most stupid war in the last decade. Perhaps 2 decades. Hard to tell. It's all 50 Hertz frequencies, okay. Need to get closer into the training area. Do 50 knots. But watch out that you don't run into...
Держать скорость 15 узлов.
Let's get to into this area and then we will see. Definitely, either way, definitely crossing the Rubicon moment. In what sense? I mean, crossing the Rubicon means there's no way back and you need to commit full. That's exactly what they're not doing. I guess they hope to achieve something similar like they achieved in Syria. I mean, the main point, especially for Israel, is of course that nuclear weapons program of the Iranians. Some analysts already believe they have enough enough weapons grade. There's, I mean, doesn't need to be only enriched. Toni, du Strolch, du. I mean, after Israel suffered their own personal 9/11, they're going somewhat down that American route with hitting everything. It's of course for Netanyahu also very convenient. That dude was also sitting on a ejection seat before that. This is of course a nice diversion. Or less nice. It's the only reason why the Americans roll in there. But I also don't want to commit too much. And the Iranians were, yeah, they're not stupid, yeah, they knew what was coming. And sheltered everything what they can. That's why you don't see anything. They report you that they destroyed some training aircraft somewhere and blew up here and there some military stuff. And some frigates that ENS Dana returning from that international fleet meeting, blowing it up somewhere in Sri Lankan waters. That is all PR. I mean, real people died there, yeah. So 200 people died in that incident. But long term, if they don't pull off anything, that will be really a meme war. And will only strengthen the regime, because they now can roll and eliminate the opposition. Call everybody a Israeli agent or Jewish agent and clean a house. This new leadership transition is made. Perfect moment for the transition. And Khomeini, man, he pulled it off. I mean, it was a smart move, man. Simply sit in your house and die as a martyr. You are 89 years old. Your health is declining. If cruise Tomahawk doesn't hit you, you will die anyways in 1 year. This perhaps a very more difficult transition. And whoever is in the pipeline is even more hardline. Here in the mainstream media they report, Trump said, man, this might lead to uprisings and the people will take over the country, man. That's a fucking retard take, it's so hardcore. That even there's still people that believe that shit. There's absolutely not enough opposition in Iran to pull that off. The regime is sitting hard, yeah, despite all those rallies in the beginning of the year. Regime is solid. Every retard analyst should know that. I don't know who advised them to do that, I don't know what plans, but this will even create more hate and even more urge to put up the pressure, especially against the Jewish, but also against West, especially US forces. Nah, man, I don't know. That war came out. Yeah, it didn't came out of nowhere, but somehow came out of nowhere.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1-1-9. Присвоен Сиера 7.
The US backing Ukraine in the Ukrainian war has to relieve Russia from its embargo in order to meet it. You know, man, it's a goddamn, man, the fucking world is going brain dead. And Iran is playing it on time, yeah. Sure, they lose shit there and there. And it's hard to replace, sure, but long term, those frigates or whatever, who cares for that? That is, yeah, for the people, yeah. But from a strategic sense, that is zero value.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 0, 4, 6. Присвоен Сиера. 8.
I don't know if they really pokered on that regime change, which is absolutely out of question, or if that was only nice words. We want to help the people. Yeah, that was probably nice words. I mean, they pulled off that in Iraq as well. Twice. Always sounds good. But I guess the bigger hope was that they might give in and stop the nuclear weapons program. Especially with new leadership. I doubt that will work out. They will pull off at North Korea. And look, nobody is talking about North Korea anymore. Back man,
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 2, 1. Присвоен Сиера. 9.
10 years ago, everybody was North Korea here, North Korea there. Then they did a successful nuclear test. Nobody's talking about North Korea anymore. Now they're even building or even laying down the first SSBN. Yeah, that boat. But it is a SSBN. It's a ballistic submarine ready to fire nuclear warheads from everywhere. And nobody is objecting that anymore. So there's indeed, I mean, there was a board war game focusing on North Korea where you try to achieve simply the nuclear armament, nuclear weapon, because your doctrine is once you, which is true if you look at the history, Pakistan, India, whoever made it to a nuclear power, yeah, not superpower, but nuclear power, is living a more chill life. I mean, look at the history. People, I mean, sure, there's a quarrel between India and Pakistan, but it's nothing super existential. North Korea the same. Threatened by the US. Dudes pulled off. Now have some crude nuclear weapons. Suddenly nobody's talking about North Korea anymore. Despite them directly supplying forces here to something like the Ukraine war. I guess Iran is somewhere on a similar route. It's not only about aggressive action, yeah. Like if you achieve your first nuke, you immediately drop it on Israel. Israel also have nuclear weapons. I mean, they're basically the secret nuclear power. Since many decades. I think since the 60s or 70s got supplied with. Which create a lot of problems, especially for the US. Because they knew if those guys are pushed too hard, they will use it. Oh, okay, active sonar is penetrating. Okay, might be close enough. Okay. So there is definitely a military shipping coming into that training area. Good, then slow down to 10 knots. And let's get a data.
10 узлов.
God damn it, man, but don't give me that sound. Holy Billy, man. Shit in my pants. Okay, good. Unless attacked, yeah, okay. Monitor, sonars and information, roger. Give me a new BT layer. I also need to be aware of Japanese submarines. I mean, people forget very fast, but Iran has a very special history especially with the US. This country was once a modern state in the Middle East. But its government got wrecked by the US and replaced by a dude and his wife who were bathing in milk. So the current regime in Iran is the result of a direct intervention by the US. Without the US, you wouldn't have that regime in Iran. Iran was a quite modern state. Iraq as well, but especially Iran. But it was not enough pro-US, so it got replaced with somebody that was not really that capable.
Сигнал на пеленге. 0, 5, 7. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 0.
And people were not really happy about that new government, especially with that what was that guy called, man, that his wife was bathing in milk. The entire state was going down the drainer. He was living the billionaire life. Suddenly shit turned south, yeah, and it got replaced by Islamic regime, radical Islamic. Yeah, it goes back to the 70s, another case when the UK suckered the US into doing their bidding. Yeah, UK was also involved heavily, as in the Iraq-Iran war, when they were supplying both sides, French as well. Basically, two modern states got wrecked with the help of Western nations while playing both sides. That left quite a traumatic mark. So that US hate in Iran is not far-fetched. They wrecked a legit government there just because it was not enough pro-US.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 1, 7. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 1.
Similar situation like in Cuba, yeah? In Cuba you had a legit government which was not enough pro-US and selling shit out to the US. Got replaced. Or tried to replace it. Failed. Wait, Cuba. Before Castro and Che Guevara arrived. Nah, exactly. It was replaced the government there. And effed it up, yeah. And then it got taken over by the rebels with Castro and Che Guevara. And yeah, now yet you had a country that will always not trust you. Yeah, exactly. They got the American land ownership. They abolished it. That triggered him. Back to large industrial concerns and the mafia money. Yeah. Mafia, large industrial, yeah. Whatever you want to call it, yeah. Iran was a super modern country. With alleged, but they just didn't want it to roll by the US playbook. And got wrecked as many other governments.
Право на борт. Ложимся на курс 1-3-0.
Есть, командир.
What? No, wait, what? No, follow 90. Good. So on to 5 knots.
Держать скорость 5 узлов.
Let's see what we have here. If you want to go higher. Oh, I want to have the towed array above the layer.
Держаться на глубине 1-6-0.
Выполняем маневр.
Yeah, too little. You watch out, yeah, there's quite a broad formation, it seems. Master? Ah, because of active intercept, yeah.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 2, 0. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 2.
Yeah, that must be our group. Those other ships. Could be not, but that is definitely a surface action group. Eight knots. Not really a warship profile. But they're all running 9 knots, okay? At least according to the TMA, but from that distance, all contacts plus active intercept, TMA should be accurate. Okay, let's be a bit ballsy.
Держать скорость 10 узлов.
Yeah, those are mirror contacts, for ambiguity contacts. Not ambiguity contacts. Yeah, mirror contacts. But I think you call it ambiguity. I mean, sure, a towed array has that mirror ambiguity. Okay, watch out, you're getting a bit close here. No, it's fine. Roll 10 knots.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 0, 9, 2. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 3.
Держать скорость 5 узлов.
Cuba goes back to the late 1800s. So other Caribbean and South American countries, US and other Western countries who own fruit industries in the region. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine, eh? There was a lot of US landlord ownership. And a lot of people were not happy when that was then, let's say, abolished. To some extent. Because it was exploiting the country. I mean, the real story is of course way more complex. There's a lot of people. There's never a simple answer to that. They are exploited. But there's no question that US interventions led to many dramas, let's put it that way. Across all continents. Some people even believe that the Ukrainian war is a result of US intervention, direct or indirect. And the history of it. So another one? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think CR5 is rolling with that fleet. So we need to watch out. I think we're in a good course. 5 knots is a bit slow, but that will enable our sonars to pick everything up. Layers are not that strong. No, it's too dangerous now to... no. We need to assume that they have helos. Should rather hide in the... They can't use my Toto Ray. Don't touch our running system. Is that guy intercepting us? No. Okay. Capture data, exit to the west, transmit. It's not enough. CR5 is concerning me. CR5 is entering our comfort zone, that is 155. I only have fishing 50 Hz frequency. Could be a sub. Japanese subs have 50, yeah. Japan also rose 50, right? Yeah. Good, put the towed array on that guy. Disengage. What is the assumed speed? 6 knots, okay. Yeah, might be post up him. I mean, if we can detect them, they probably can detect us. Probably detected us already. Switch the layer.
Держаться на глубине 3, 6, 0.
Выполняем маневр.
Let's see how CR5 behaves on his owners. But might be a submarine. I mean, they're heading straight at us, according to TMA. Which might indicate that they detected us, or that they're snooping our frequency. Because if we can't detect them, I mean, the Japanese also roll modern tech. And we are a nuclear boat, they might have a conventional one.
Сигнал на пеленге. 0, 2, 3. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 4. Акустик. Сигнал на пеленге. 0, 6, 0. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 5.
If you can detect anything, they might detect you as well. And we need to assume Japanese roll modern subs. That they're probably already snooping us. Even the US in Vietnam goes back to after World War II. The French did not want to give up their colonial powers there, and the UK and France were given the task of policing the area. Okay, suckered the US into getting involved there as well. I think the UK was it that steered US into that conflict? I know, yeah, the French, yeah. I mean, the French. What was that famous battle where they were sitting in that surrounded by artillery?
Акустик. Сигнал на пеленге. 0, 5, 7. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 6.
What was that? What's that for a sound? Are we... No, we're good.
Держаться на глубине 2, 5, 0.
Выполняем маневр.
Man, stop with the sounds.
Держаться на глубине 5, 5, 2.
Выполняем маневр.
Okay, but we are below the layer. Wait for the total array. 6-8. Ja. Hey Paul. Dan Ben Fu, yeah. I think that was that battle where they were all sitting in that, what do you call it, valley, surrounded by hills. I think, yeah man, that is a good defensive position, nice. Let's build a fortress there. And then they got surrounded by North Vietnamese forces, or whatever, the revolutionary Vietnamese forces. And artied to death. In this massive battle. Basically kicked out the French. There's a WDS game on that. Isn't it called Dien Bien Phu? Early Vietnam. Focus, I think that's the only game that's focusing on that early conflict. Vietnam conflict. Or Indochina conflict. Also only Vietnam. Dien Bien Phu. I think they even have a game for that. I think that's the only game that is really focusing on that. Man, we need to play it right now. I have it. Somewhere. What's the source context here? They're 3 minutes old. Okay. It might be CR14. Figure it out. It is one of their demos. Ah, yeah, could be, I don't know, demo. I know they have the invasion of what was that US yeah, movie with also with here Gunnery Sergeant who was G. It's also one of those forgotten wars. Clint Eastwood invasion of airborne invasion. Heartbreak Ridge. I don't know, Heartbreak Ridge, what was that? That wasn't that World War II? What did the US invade? It was for a small operation, but it was an airborne operation. It's still quite unique for that. There's not really many modern airborne invasions. It's probably the only one. Ah yeah, Heartbreak Ridge was Korea. No, wait, what was it? Panama. I was talking about Panama, yeah. There's this one Clint Eastwood movie where he's some marine. Oh, I don't know what he is. Nah, marine Doesn't make sense, but who knows? Because Gallery Sergeant is a Marine rank. But perhaps it was not only Rangers airborning, was probably additional troops involved. But I don't know if he was a gallery sergeant or whatever. The invasion would have been in South America, student rescue. Student hostages in some South American country. Is it a movie or what is it for a situation? It's a fictional movie or what? I think rather Sierra 5 might be a submarine. We have nothing on the broadbands because we are so that deep. I mean, you can risk to speed up to 10 knots, but then there's a submarine that will pretty sure detect us. Good, check 170 again. Nothing. Ah, here. Yeah, man, that must... Shit, might be a submarine. Frequency is... Okay, go above the layer.
Держаться на глубине 2, 0, 0.
Выполняем маневр.
I need data on that surface group. And let's see if that contact improves. If that contact improves, it is not a submarine. It is a submarine above the layer. Or it is something above the layer, period. Not a submarine. Ah, data's getting better, okay. If the data gets better if you go below the layer, then you have for sure a submarine. Or some omega whale. Right? If you have some frequencies above the layer, and then you go below the layer, and the emissions improve, then you know, okay, that is something submerged for sure. Might be a submarine. Not the opposite. If you could come from below the layer above, that contact didn't really change, so I'm not sure, but might be a submarine. Because then you know there is a submarine below the layer. If you go below the layer and you pick up better emissions, then you know, okay, that is submerged. That is not surface. If you pick up something below the layer and it improves above the layer, it could be anything. Huh? The fiction episode in Clint Eastwood movie Campaign Series Vietnam includes a lot of early Vietnamese-French battles, including Dien Bien Phu. Yeah, I don't know. Was it a specific game? Yeah, because it would be... Wait. They had a specific... No, you're right, yeah. I mean, probably... So I think they had a special game. They have 2 Vietnam games, yeah. But I think one is focused on the Marines or something. That's a modern campaigns, right? Akula-III, what was that, yeah. It's a demo, okay. Did I ever play that? Korea. But it is a fictional modern Korea. We need to go to squad battles. Hier, Dien Bien Phu. That's not a demo. That is, I think, the only game that is focused on that early Indo-China conflict. With everything from 46 to 54. Real old school. Moroccans, Sinhalese, Algerians, Legionnaires, Vietnamese, Thos, and others. I think that's the only game of this caliber that is really focusing. Ah yeah, 5 clans, they also have crazy, yeah. Yeah, Granada is a demo, exactly, yeah. Wait, why is Fidel there on the cover? That's Fidel, right? Was Fidel involved in... Was Fidel involved somehow in Granada? Ah, wait. Ah, growing influence of the Cubans. Ah, yeah, okay. He sent youths. Yeah, the Cubans were rolling similar to the Soviets. There were even Cuban soldiers in African conflicts. That's why they put Fidel on the cover. Fidel, bro. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the reasons. At least they claim, yeah. The real reason was, what? You're not selling us your shit for special US price? Okay, roll. Yeah, I think John Tiller was the only dude that ever covered. I mean, pretty sure there's war games that cover those scenarios, but a specific war game release for that really early Indo-China conflict, which basically started, as you can tell, yeah, almost after World War II. I mean, they basically rolled World War II equipment there. With that climax of Dien Bien Phu, where the French were getting wrecked. That is quite unique. We might need to play that. We'll have to get Dien Bien Phu and Donbass 43. Yeah, so far I don't know. Either they're on holidays or they said, man, screw that dude. Because I took so long with Crusades Book 2. They sent me the review code, I think a month ago. But it was not that, I mean, what, today, right? Today I did it, or yesterday, today. Oh, it was fun. Crusade Books 2. I think that is still somewhat but the archers, man, are really jokes. It's always in those video games, archers are complete jokes. While many of those medieval style armies rolled up to 60-70% archers. And archery is rather hard to train task. I'm pretty sure it's easier to train a spearman or a peasant or whatever than to train an archer. That is something that wonders me in all those video games, but it's across all fields, man. There's also in Total War, as in those Simcade games or whatever you would call them. Archers are always nice to have, but Jimmy, give me something with a sword, something with a spear that can wreck people. Yeah. Archers, man, firing 80 dudes firing massive volleys, 3 dudes getting injured. Yeah. While in medieval, your archer, I mean, from authentic reports, archer units or archer detachments of your army could win entire battles. That wonders me. This whole archery in all games. Field of Glory, but Field of Glory I didn't play for a long time. I don't know. It's too gamey for me. That Ancient series by HBS, Total War, but also here Crusades Book 1, 2. Archers are always a joke somehow. I don't know. Nobody takes the Archer serious. Hey, fire those walls. Oh yeah, okay. 80 dudes fire. 2 dudes got a injury. oh. I know. I mean, those guys definitely put their research in, but I don't know any game where something like advancing against an army and receiving an archery barrage is complete devastating you. And that seems to be, based on some historical accounts, quite a thing. Eh? And for example here, Lionheart, Löwenherz, when he returned back to Europe after his semi-failed Third Crusade. What was that famous battle there where he wrecked all those French nobles? Agincourt? And those dudes got all wrecked by English longbows. Huh? I mean, okay, yeah, the battlefield conditions were really bad, and the French were stupid in that situation. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know any medieval game where you see a line of archers and say, "Oh, kurwa." It's always, archers, okay, quickly move in and wreck them all. I mean, in that engagement we had in that getting started, those archers were simply bodies, yeah? Why, again, training an archer is way more complicated than training a spearman, and it's also probably more, less cost effective, yeah? To maintain an archer, because he needs ammunition. Yeah, bow is not a really big thing, but still ammunition with that steel tip, whatever. A spear is a spear, yeah? You produce one spear and it works.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 2, 7. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 7.
Why archer is, you need to produce many mini spears, yeah? And you fire that shit and, I don't know, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% of that stuff is hitting nothing. But still need to invest that amount of whatever iron, steel, and the training. Whoever engage in archery is not really easy. Also building a bow, it's not that easy. Requires some training. And more training than for a spearman. If I take a spear, I can become a spearman. I might be a retard spearman, but I can spear the shit out of whatever. But giving somebody a bow, he will pretty sure not really manage it from the beginning. Requires training. And ammunition and everything. That wonders me, why those games And there's also in Crusade Books 1, Crusade Books Book 1, Book 2. Archers are, you know, so nice to have shit, but you don't really care for that. If you would be really an army commander, you would replace all those archers with melee troops. And if that would be a reason, then everybody would have done that. But it was exactly the opposite. Archers made out often the biggest amount of the armies, especially of Latin European armies, and they had massive success with it. And even try to recreate it nowadays and fail. And they're really perfect at that art of here English longbowman with the whatever bows and longbows and arrows that were able to even do severe damage to armored opponents. They even nowadays fail to reproduce that efficiency. Yeah, there should be more OP and more of them. Deadly weapons here, Agincourt. Yeah, I think the most common weapon were pole arms, cheaper and easier to train on, yeah. Can give a farmer pole arm, exactly, a pole arm or whatever. Archery was rather, I guess, yeah, I'm not an expert here, but more training intensive. But despite this, they still rolled massive archery units. Often up to 60-70% of the army. And Agincourt, yeah, sure, the French, they pushed there through that muddy field and whatever, but still got wrecked by longbowmen. There was almost no contact. They got wrecked before they even arrived. I don't know any game that is really simulating that. It's always, archers are always a joke, I don't know. I think even Total War, Stainless Steel or something, modded Total War, is still the most brutal archery game. Because if you advance and they fire a full barrage of you at you, and you are not armored, you will definitely feel it. Bodies will drop hard. Bodies will drop hard. So it wonders me that, and Total War is a rather action sim-cade game. I mean, modded, sure, they push, of course, for realism. But even then. But then in a full-fledged war game. But it was also the same for the Ancient Warfare series. Archers were always a joke, I don't know. It's always, yeah, oh, cool. Same for skirmishes. In Napoleonic or American Civil War games, skirmishes are always like, yeah, our ouchie, okay. Why skirmishes were a serious problem. That's why every nation employed the tactic of skirmishing. That was basically the prelude of modern infantry combat, yeah? Not fighting in formation anymore, but deploying some dudes that take cover, retreat, maneuver, and attack the enemy. And that worked out massively and probably led to abandoning infantry formation combat in favor of coordinated but flexible modern infantry combat, yeah? Where you take cover and shoot shit at people, but without here, aim, fire. Sure, it was of course also weapon technology, but not only that, yeah?
Право на борт. Ложимся на курс 1-1-5.
Есть, командир.
Нет, Commandeer. Okay, CFR is getting quite close. Check this once again. Come on, it must be this. Holy Billy, we lost her entirely, or what? Oh, go below the layer immediately.
Держаться на глубине 5-0-0.
Выполняем маневр.
Держаться на глубине 5-5-2.
Выполняем маневр.
That might be a deep diving submarine indeed. Let's see if that is. I just need to find out. Wait. No fix. I don't know. But those games, Archers are always a
Акустик,
joke.
сигнал на пеленге. 0, 4, 5. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 8.
But I mean, Crusades are really a massive joke. So 90 dudes fire from 100 meters.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 0, 8. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 9.
Two dudes drop. Be right back. Okay. Let's roll.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 3, 2, 0. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 7.
Держаться на глубине 2-0-0.
Выполняем маневр.
Yeah, this Archer stuff, I don't know. Especially we are not talking about indirect fire. Which is also a thing, sometimes a joke in those games. Just because you have infantry in front of you, doesn't mean that you need to indirect fire. I don't know if those wargame developers understand how ballistics of a bow work. Yeah, it's not like you're firing, I don't know, some sniper rifle or what. A dude in front of you and you're probably not standing right with your bow behind him, yeah, but you're standing, I don't know, what, 50 meters behind him. You can safely fire over the head by firing ballistic into an enemy formation approaching with maximum damage. Absolutely no problem. While many games pull that off, if the archer is behind a friendly unit, it needs to fire indirect. Are those dudes in front of you, are they 10 meters high or what? So take a bow yourself and figure it out. What the heck happened here? Yeah, okay, if you fire a sniper rifle, 50 cal sniper rifle, okay, yeah. At enemies at 200 meters or what? It's so, I don't know, it's a lack of reality. Yeah, I'm not talking about firing at some dudes on the walls, yeah, that is where you fire indirect. Some people at walls behind cover, and then the lethality and efficiency drops dramatically, yeah, for sure. Or if you fire at something at 50 meters in front of you, while there's your own guys in front of you, yeah, then you fire indirect, which makes it super inefficient, yeah. But other than that, I mean, imagine, yeah, standing behind dudes, and there's something approaching, you will basically fire the same ballistic as if you would do, you might not have the best vision on the enemy, which is not really required if there's an enemy formation and enemy one or dudes moving in formation in front of you. So as there's so many games that you can't deploy, I mean, usually you do that, yeah, you send the archers forward, so you can really clearly fire. But you can also, archery can also be deployed from the rear, depending on the terrain, but if it's even terrain, this... I mean, simply imagine, you're sitting 50 meters behind or whatever, 20 meters behind a dude and you want to fire your arrow with your bow. It's something that is, I don't know, 100 meters or 50 meters. So you fire over his head, yeah? So not real rocket science. Because the ballistics, I mean, the ballistics are still very ballistic of a bow. For ranges, I don't know what, up to 50 meters. 50 plus meters. Even 50 meters. You can't fire straight, you're not firing straight, yeah? I mean, with a really good bow, I mean, even with those modern whatever, yes, crazy rocket science bows they use in those sport events. Yeah, okay, perhaps those chimneys, man, they roll really hard. Still 50 meters, you still have slight ballistics needed to apply. Still, you will not fire indirect, yeah? I know, man, sometimes just because something is calling itself war game, somehow they sometimes wreck simply the reality. That's what also older devs, yeah, here, they talk to real deals or they try it themselves. This is some English longbows in action. But I know, I watched a documentary where they tried to recreate the historical longbow efficiency and they couldn't manage it. Which tells you, because back in the days you need to consider, yeah, you had people that focused their entire lifetime on perfecting that art. Shooting. What's that for dude? Well, so Christmas here, Santa Claus. And that dude looks serious, man. Hey, yo! A bloody bow, man.
Turn my foot out and I lean my weight on it. Not a problem.
That dude is committed, man. That dude is committed.
So this.
Yeah, shoot.
Hurt the spine.
Yeah, Jimmy, shoot it, fucking. I mean, you can always see it here. Look at that range where they're shooting. Man, do you give a shit about if there's troops in front of you if you need to fire at that angle, yeah? But that is not really indirect shooting, that is direct shooting. That is, I guess they're firing from max range or something, depending on the angle. Do you give a shit if there's troops in front of you?
Draw.
You fire only redirect if I don't know if those dudes are right in front of your nose, yeah. But normally you fire at something like a 45-degree angle. That is direct. That is direct. Those arrows will come in very fast and hit you. Nobody fires direct. So always in those war games, you blocked. You need to fire indirect. Indirect is basically firing like a mortar, yeah. Firing at an ultra steep angle, yeah, 45 plus. Like that, dude. Perhaps I don't know. But usually 45 degrees if you want to get the biggest range by simply standard ballistics, yeah. It's simply physics, yeah. 45 degrees. For if you want to go for max range. But even if you fire at 30 degrees, 20 degrees, yeah, you will overshoot anything that is, I don't know, 20 meters in front of you. These 45 degree shots are the max range shots, yeah, by simple ballistics. If you want to propel something as far as possible, you fire at 45 degrees, yeah. It's not, of course, not that simple, but you get the idea. That here looks like, even if it's from a movie, like a authentic. And nobody in front of you will get hit by that shit. Yeah, this is absolutely retard, because nobody's firing like that. Yeah, that is if you, I don't know, shoot something 10 meters in front of you. So this, oh, you need to fire indirect, or you can't fire because there's in front of you some dudes. It's complete bollocks, man. I've seen a guy's demo these versus parrot armor replication from a castle tower. Yeah, I saw some documentary or whatever where they tried to recreate the armor penetration. I mean, that was based on historical accounts. If they are true, I can't tell, of course. Yeah. But it's definitely... I think they made a point that... in which... I mean, people back in the days were not stupid. Yeah. They invested a lot of time. I think a good example of that is World War II. In World War II, they managed to maneuver masses of forces, yeah, millions of soldiers around, and it somehow worked out, yeah. Now imagine you would ask modern armies to do the same, and they would probably struggle hard in the beginning, yeah. And something like on the Eastern Front, yeah. Here, what was that massive Soviet operation called? That massive offensive of the Soviets. But also Barbarossa, yeah? Barbarossa the same. I mean, Barbarossa, what was it? 1 million soldiers crossing. Yeah, no digital stuff, anything. But they managed to coordinate. Because they trained decades for that. While modern armies Bagration, yeah, exactly, Bagration. It was probably one of the most successful offensive operations in history. Despite everybody saying, yeah, the Soviets only throw dudes at the front. That is usually what retards say. Bagration was an extremely effective operation against the Germans. Managed to destroy army group center and it stopped existing. And that back in the times, there were some low-trained dudes. The coordination and everything. If you would now ask a modern army to pull off the same, yeah, to coordinate millions of soldiers in an offensive operation, it would completely fail. That's what I mean. Progression doesn't always mean, yeah, more technology, we do everything better. Yeah? We do it different. Sure, there's of course a lot of achievements, but same for bows. Nobody's using bows anymore in warfare. Back in the days, bows were the A and O in warfare. Yeah? So people perfected the art of archery warfare. So it makes sense that they developed, got the best out of it, and that modern dudes, modern bow makers or whatever, failed to recreate it. Because they didn't spend decades on figuring out how to put a arrow perfectly into your opponent's formation. What is paperclip? Operation Paperclip, yeah. I think there is a real way to heard that term somewhere. Exfilling the German scientists to the US. Ah, okay. Oh, that was also a thing. It's also evil German scientists, man. They rolled all the technology, yeah. Okay, exactly, yeah, that was the point. We lost contact to CR5. Let's quickly check the zoners on the Toad. If that thing is turning up when we go below the layer, it is a confirmed submarine. Nah, we have it. (173). Is it 173? 176, yeah, but there's nothing else, might be. So it's here, but very faint. Good, let's change depth to 500 and see how it behaves.
Держаться на глубине 5, 0, 0.
Выполняем маневр.
Faints out. Okay, it's not below the layer. Oh, is it fainting out? Yeah. Yeah, it's not below the layer. Go back to 200.
Держаться на глубине 2, 0, 0.
Выполняем маневр.
Montpellier maneuver. Shipman, Russian language. I learned this useless language called French. Man, but there was no option. Russian, but shit, man, I had so many patients that. Понимаю по-русски. Je m'appelle. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. Vous parlez français? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, Russian sounds good. I agree. I also like the sound of Russian. And I have so many patients. Понимаю по-русски. Vous parlez français? What? No, man, I don't speak shit. I don't speak complicated shit. I mean, there's some schools that offer Russian as secondary, but rather seldom. It's usually the classics. Latin is also useless as a brick in the desert. Because you will usually have a pretty good Latin understanding if you study one Latin-based Latin-based European language. You will have a good understanding of Latin anyways. So it's rather a waste of time. And proper Latin, nobody needs proper Latin, yeah. Span, yeah, Espanol, I should roll Espanol rather. Or Italian, but Frenchman was a complete biggest mistake in my life, yeah. No, but Russian, man. Russian would be super helpful. It's crazy how many people speak Russian. It's nuts. At least here in my country, you think, yeah, French, nobody gives a shit about French. But Russian, man, every second dude that speaks Russian. French is too nasal, don't speak while retreating, yeah. Nah, French is simply complicated because it has those, how do I explain it? Yeah, it's a language with a lot of this, mute, parts. Which you don't have in regular Latin-based languages like anything else. Where you mute or where you combine words, yeah. I think combining words in French is also making it brutal for non-French born. Because in French, you might combine words, which in Latin is normally never happening. Latin is a really clean, or Latin-based languages are clean. Word. There's always a stop in between. While in French, you combine words, like articles, you combine articles with nouns. And it becomes one word, which might sound nice, yeah, but learning it or speaking it, especially in France, where people don't give a shit about how good your French is, and they speak it really fast. It's quite a difficult language if you didn't grow up with it. Should there are exceptions to rules of grammar, yeah. I mean, German is also considered a overcomplicated language, I agree. German is also very overcomplicated. English, yeah, to be honest, English is, can speak English on a high level. And it's really clear, no bullshittery, easy grammatical rules. No, English is really fine, yeah, fine language. I mean, I tried to pull off this Esperanto joke there, which was this eased up language, so everybody can speak it, but nobody speaks it. I think English is fine. English can be spoken on a high level, which is more Latin based. Yeah. Lower level English is more Germanic based. At least that's what people claim. Which probably makes it also easier to speak for people that already have as a native language or Latin based language. Because in usually all Latin based languages, high level speaking has their roots in Latin based. Same for English. That's why you sometimes see that English terms get translated back into... Not translated back, but yeah, utilized. Nah, English is really good, man. English is a top language. No bullshittery. I have to admit, yeah, German is super complicated for people that didn't grow up with it. I knew professors, man, they are here since 40 years and still screw up stuff because it's so overcomplicated. Especially if you want to talk on high level or even on some sort of what do you call it? Lyric level, it becomes brutal. So perhaps it's the same in like French, I don't know. For outstanders. But at least Germans still keep their words separated. No matter what, articles or whatever, they are separated. Period. Separated. You know, that is a word, that is a word, that is a word. French is the only language where they really roll it hard and truncate words, several words into one. Article is getting truncated into the noun or whatever, which makes it super hard, especially if somebody is speaking fast, to understand anything if you didn't grow up with it. This truncation of words, which might sound nice, is super brutal nightmare. But any other language, German, Italian, Spanish. Yeah, I'm also not a language expert. I don't know for other languages, but that is basically the main languages which you can study here in A-level school. But I would have rolled for Spain, Spanish or Italian rather, if I could redo it, because Frenchman was super useless. But but English is really good. English, one must admit, is simply a massive good language. It's really easy to talk on high level. Even Timmies will understand your high level English, while in German, for example, if you talk high level German, I mean really some sort of academic, super duper over the top retard tries to be smart German, people will not understand you anymore. I got told by German, please talk German, I don't understand you. I'm talking German. Never happens in English. Even if you talk on the highest level academic English, people will still have, even normies will have a grasp of it. Because again, in English, the level between low level English and high level English is not that far away. But in other languages like German, it's the only language I can talk about, the gap or the range is a better word, between low level German and what you might consider high level German can be massive. In German you can what is the word for it? Yap. You can yap the shit out of the language. Jimmy, I saw research papers in German, which I couldn't understand, and I asked for the English version. Yeah, please give it me in English. I can't understand what the fuck are you talking about. There's so many synonyms for. Normally, using language should be always precise, but especially in German, I think it is often more impression-based, using words which perhaps 90% of people don't understand for impression. There is root in history, because the time of Enlightenment was especially coming out of Germany, or of the German language, with Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant was a massive yapper. Now, bro Kant, I keep him in high regard, but he was a massive yapper. Because it was reconsidered here to talk as complicated as possible, so only 0.001% of people understand you. It was regarded as some sort of quality standard. Yeah? Don't let the plebe understand what the fuck you are talking about. Because your words are not for their ears. This is really a German thing, or a historical German thing. But that was never really the case in English. Yeah, sure, you can read Shakespeare and whatever bullshit. But that is, I mean, there's lyric English. You can't compare that to everyday or professional English, yeah? While here, when it comes to German, you have even in a professional environment, people yapping hard to make an impression, rather. While good or high level language should be rather precise. That is the goal of it, yeah? If you use words that are not that often used or very special, they should be precise. Should be precise to tell the educated listener or reader, okay, that guy means exactly that thing. Huh? Why it is not really that thing nowadays, or since many years. It's more about making an impression. Yeah? Shit, man, look at my vocabulary, man. I can roll here words you don't understand because I'm such an educated Timmy, yeah. Which is not really a thing in English. Yeah, in English, I never read some sort of over-yapping English paper. Read that shit and you understand it. Even if they raw complicated matters. Yapping factor is very low in English. Because there's not much you can pull off in yapping. Like in compared to German language. You guys have a lot of slang. Yeah, but I mean every language, yeah, so I think US depends on whatever milieu. Also there's a lot of slang. Yeah, every language has it. Yeah, makes sense I guess. On Shakespeare level. Can communicate very easy with broken English. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But since it has a lot of French and other languages in it, it can be a mess. Yeah, but I still think broken English is definitely. Yeah, but I can't tell. I'm not a native French speaker. Otto muss sein, verdammt nochmal. I find Spanish much easier than German. Yeah, pretty sure. Polish is pretty tough. They use all 7 cases as in Latin, even the vocative. Boah, man, that is... Yeah. I had in university in the first semester, I had a crash course in Latin because I picked French. So I didn't want to, I wanted to have a language that is alive. Yeah, there was something, there was quite a lot of cases, yeah. But still, it was acceptable compared to French. I mean, having a lot of cases, I mean, the same for German. German also a shit ton of cases. And word variations. Okay, we're picking up some stuff. Hello, sure. Sure. Wait. That is Arusio. Arusio confirmed. Where's the fucking frequency? I don't see it. Ah, here. 276. Ah, wait, it's on a total array. We are currently riding at 6.5. Oh man, my brain 6.5. Boah, I need to see it on the map. 6.5, so that would be what at 300 and 200. Whatever, a course is 6.5, okay. That Hiroshio is confirmed. $291 doesn't make sense. Is that a sub or what? No, this no 208. 291 doesn't really make sense. That would be here, but it must be then here. Okay, it's the opposite. Acid. Here. 190. That makes sense. Hadoshio, confirmed. Yeah, there's not some Italian type at 100. There's a Hadoshio at 198. Yeah, that's this dude. Holy Billy, that is that guy. Hadoshio is a Japanese submarine, right? One of the most modern ones, yeah. Good. CR5 Hadoshio. As we expected, it's a submarine. Okay, we're getting a bit too close here then. So give me 6 knots.
Держать скорость 6 узлов.
There's indeed a submarine, which makes sense, is away from the fleet.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 0, 8, 3. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 8. Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1, 0, 2. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 9.
Dirty or does, either dead or bottle. Yeah, that is, I mean, the least complicated stuff in German.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 0, 4, 7. Присвоен Сиера. 2, 0.
There's one tempus, do you call it tempus? Casus in German, that is basically, I don't know any foreigner that can roll it. Even professors, super high IQ persons, they can't even pull it off. If you didn't grow up with reading literature in German or whatever. What is that case called? Give me an example. Man, I can't even pull off an example. Need to read it. Sie haben... But it can be avoided by a simple trick here, but people still display it as some sort of skill. What is that? Tempus or casus called? Or how is it expressing itself? I can't pull off an example. Should was here for bearing 293. Yeah, but that... But CR4 is a mirror of CR5, right? Now we are not surrounded by submarines, suddenly.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 0, 6, 5. Присвоен Сиера. 1, 6.
It can't be. That must be a mirror. Ambiguity. It should be resolved soon. Oh, this doesn't make sense. Okay. Come on, CR4 is not true. Yeah, thank you. CR4 is CR5, roger. Or even another submarine.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 2, 0,
It's a
3.
master.
Присвоен Сиера. 2, 1.
Bow pass. CR5 is old, right? Yeah, CR5 is old. Okay, Master 7 is CR5. Okay, we need to get that shit out of here. That submarine is close. How fast? TMA predicts 9 knots. Good, pull 10 knots, it's over.
Держать скорость 10 узлов.
No, we need to make it more north. Good, go deep. We captured enough data. We don't know enough. I don't know much about the surface group, but getting pushed by the submarines out of that area. Yeah, okay, be a bit ballsy and roll in. But they probably already detected us. Yeah, they pretty should detect us. If we, yeah, 5%, 5,000%. $12 knots? Nah, impossible. Put all arrays on it. And triangulate. That is spearing 190, 207. Okay. Not on a hole, so it can't be that close. Oh, it's on a toad, right? Yeah, the toad is massive. Try and give me those frequencies. That is our Oshio submarine. Express 1100 Hertz or something, what was it? $1,100, yep, confirmed. That is our Oshio. Good, they're running 12 knots, but GTFO. Probably they detected us and pushing us out of the training area. Go deep.
Держаться на глубине 5-5-2.
Выполняем маневр.
Another case, but at tempos, I think you mean. Not sure what one you mean. Yeah, I'm also not sure. I'm looking for a word example, but I can't find one. But there's those words which even native speakers can't even pull off. Even native speakers can't pull it off. Others usually use that in order to display, man, I can do it. Show me TMA for Master 7. Is it really that close? This is for bullshit here, give me 10 minutes. Holy kurwa, he might be even... He's even probably closer than we think. Here. 6,000 yards, yeah, he absolutely detected us. He's not running 12 knots, he's slower. Even slower than that.
Акустик, сигнал на пеленге. 1-7-7. Присвоен Сиера. 1-4.
Boah, hard to tell. Because we are also maneuvering. So the data is slopped. DLSS Unreal 5'd. But the intersections tell you that thing is super close. We have some submarines super close to us. simply get out of the training area. I mean, if they would have fired on us, we would already receive torpedoes. We can try to get her on the high frequency to say hello. Come on, let's do that. Give me the high frequency. She's not there. Okay. That is surprising. But okay, get out of here. Ah, here she is. Yeah. That is a Hadoshio training us. Here we have the high frequency mark, which is pretty good on the solution. Yep. Hadoshio is training us. Yeah, okay, we're leaving. She's going on a reception course. The Japanese want to tell us we are not welcome here, okay. But don't get too close. Okay. Get 2 torpedoes ready. Activation 1000 meters. Depth 150 meters. Speed max. Sync torpedo activation range 5000. Speed 50. Depth 350 in case she dives below. But from what I saw, she is above the layer on a higher frequency. She's really pushing it. Nah, man, if you flood the tubes, they might hear it and... Speed up to 15 knots and know we are here.
Держать скорость 15 узлов.
Prepare active sonar warning. It should tell them that we are... Transmit mid-range. Nah, short range. She's disengaging or what? Yeah, she's disengaging, okay. Nah, she's not. She's trailing us with 15 knots, meeting our speed. Yep. Hello, she confirmed. Now it's a Type 800 Italian. Is a Hoshu. Modern SSK Japan. Was trailing us. Yeah. Okay, they're escorting us out of the training area. Roger. 2 torpedoes are applied to Master 7, right? 2.2. Okay. Okay, something goes wrong. In case something goes wrong, we fire 2 Coruns, 2 tubes. But considering the distance, we might fire 1000, 2000 for dispersion. In case the hull should does something. Get a total array in. Oh wait, I need a total array right now. But the whole is the whole picking up? Master 7? Bearing 170 or something? Oh shit, no. Nah, I need a total array, otherwise I'll lose. Because the whole sonar is, because of the speed, washed out. Man, that soundtrack is that really? Sounds like Ace Combat, man, from a new Ace Combat game. Shit, man, they're rolling it hard, man. Ah, there's a remix. Should download from YouTube, man, from a componist. There was a componist that, oh man, give me that in there's a componist on YouTube that a musician, I guess, because he has a lot of compositions on his channel. He created remixes of 2 of the songs of Hunter Killer, and those roll hard, man. That's really the Ace Combat style. Shit, man, getting escorted here by a Japanese submarine. Akula-III. Hanoi. No, wait, Hanoi, that is wrong language. Please receive here 3 anime and get escorted out of the training area. Please leave. Yes, okay. Let me roll a soundtrack, please. Oh, is that AI shit or whatever? Are they pulling off that with AI? In dangerous waters, that submarine is escorting me out? Crazy. Towards Japanese. It's good. We leaving. No, leave us alone. Shit, man, engage the submarine. Let's sink that Hadoshio. Man, for Vladimir Wudin. Holy man, that soundtrack. What if I turn into the Hadoshio? How will she react? But crazy, I was never escorted like that. Oh man, the soundtrack is hitting hard. Shit, man. sir. We hear some crazy music on the Russian submarine. What is it? I think they're playing some crazy soundtrack. Ah, nice. Bro, leave me alone. Is she following me? She's following me, man. Okay, yeah, hey, Japanese bros, chill out, man. We're leaving, yeah. Okay, bro. Yeah, hey, man, we just want to check out what, by accident we ended up in your exercise area. It's okay, bro. Bruh. Man, Hadoshio is going all in, man. If they give me now active sonar ping. Nah, we're leaving. Come on, get your shit together. Is she leaving? Nah, man, she is persecuting us. Damn it, those Japanese body baggers. Good, get a total in. You want a contest, huh?
Убрать буксируемый гидролокатор.
Julie, see if you can keep up with that Russian sub. Comrades, flank speed.
Говорит капитан. Вперед, самый полный.
Can you keep up with that Russian engine, huh? Yeah, you want to know it, yeah? Who is faster, man? Tokyo Drift? Roger that, come on. Try to keep up with us. Akula-III, man, rows 28 knots. 30 knots. 35 knots. Can you keep up with that? UB, huh? 20 knots submerged! Nah, man, you can't keep up with us, come on. Disengage, you bitch. Whee, that is so fast! Sorry, that is Akula 35 knots for you, huh? Hey, wait! Oi! It's too fast! My propeller is coming off! Holy shit, man, what? 80 knots, man, they're pushing it! The Japanese is pushing it, come on. Huh? You bitches, you can't do it, yeah? With the conventional, with your electro submarines here, what? Screw it, man. Nuclear power, huh? But electro is the future. Nah, man. Look at that, man. Gee. Wait. Bitch, stop chasing me. Wait, my hybrid battery is empty. My reactor is rolling hard. My engineer reports me that we can even roll 10% more, but I say no, man. Keep the reactor cool. We need it for 100 more years. Huh? Harushio. Or Mike, I'd rather call you slow Lucio, huh? Fucking bitches. Man, that is the Akula-III soundtrack. If you roll flank speed. at full def. Wait, where are you? Not so fast, please. DWX, Kapitan, the reactor is leaking. What? 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 What is leaking? Ah, nothing is leaking, man. Massive reactor. Shit, why I'm coughing. DWX, the radiation. Ah, no. Okay, slow it down. 5 knots.
Держать скорость 5 узлов.
Do we still have the Japanese submarine training us? Ah, the total race not. Yeah. Tony!
Выпустить буксируемый гидролокатор.
Endure the radiation. Like every true Soviet seaman. Radiation. Don't trust those reports. Small dosages of radiation are good for you, buddy. To be everybody, yeah, they make those horrific movies about Chernobyl. You know what the reality was? After that, I think reactor block 4, right? I think the reactor block 4 it was that blew up. They operated that power plant. Yeah, I don't know what, for 20 years longer. But sure, there was a bit more radiation after that. After the entire roof blew up of that, the core blew up of that block 4. So they offered a job. So people still had to work here, the remainers of the Pripyat power plant. And it became one of the most attractive jobs in the Soviet Union. You received extra pay. People were standing in the queue, man, to get a job. Because you received more payment. And people believed that alcohol is protecting you, booze is protecting you, so they were saying, oh, okay, now I have a reason why I'm drinking so much. Nah, man, that Tony is gone, come on. Total rate? Anything? They're still training us. Nah, they lost us probably as well. Working in Chernobyl after the incident of 86, became one of the most attractive jobs in the Soviet Union. Everybody wanted to do it, man. Good pay. You had leave. Exactly. The leave was also good. Because of the radiation dosages. Everybody who worked at the power plant received extra leave in order not to accumulate too much. And extra pay. Jimmy, I would say, yeah. Sure, I roll. They always make those oh man, Chernobyl, man, this is so fucking Chernobyl, the dangerous place. But in reality, hey man, yeah, sure, I will do that job. Extra pay, extra leave, I'm in. Good, let's go, Shalom.
Держаться на глубине 065.
But crazy, I think that's the first time I saw some AI pushing me out here like that. Enemy submarine, yeah, not enemy, but not friendly submarine escorting me out of the area and chasing me down. I think that's the first time I saw that in Dangerous Waters. Or in any sub game. I mean, it was really some real stuff. That is exactly what you might see in reality. Correct, what can you report? There was a Roshu class and a lot of pinging warships. Okay. Transmit me please all the specific types of warships, including with all their precise frequencies. Yeah. There was frequencies. Yeah, comrade, but what exactly frequencies? I'm pretty sure a commander like you captured them all. The flowing wire might be not transmitting.
Держаться на глубине 0, 2, 3.
Выполняем маневр.
Держать скорость 3 узла.
Поднять радиоантенну.
Ja, Toni, warte. Gleich.
Опустить телескопическую радиоантенну.
What? Sure, whatever, ja. Okay. Yeah, it was our Lucio. Okay, be right back. Or perhaps not, I don't know.